All right, I turned it on.
And then if we want to get anything more, we can just give you a call. So, do you know what this is about?
You told me a little bit
Yeah.
about,
Look up and smell at the camera. Okay, did the flash go off?
no, I didn't see.
No, you're good, you won't have a flash.
Okay.
So this is for, I work for the UNC Charlotte Urban Institute. It's a think tank out of the university. And we're doing a project researching Charlotte's creeks because nobody really has taken a lot of attention over the years. Yeah, in terms of history and environment and everything else.
Okay.
And I apologize that it's so warm in here. The fan was so loud. We had to turn it off.
This building, like I said, this is personal for me in terms of I'm over the board here. And hopefully next year when y'all come, it's going to be academic. It's going to be individually academic program. I'm so excited about being a part of the process of seeing this go through its transition. And this was when my 4th grade class was.
This right here?
Yeah, have a long history with this room and the whole building.
Are they going to put it back to the way it was?
Well, certain things we won't change. The windows.
Right, yeah.
And certain things we won't change because it's historical.
Yeah,
But it
the
won't be
windows
just
are,
like this.
yeah.
This will be all divided up, and we try to use the space in a more user-friendly way.
I can't read that. What
Okay.
retired what?
A new view.
Oh, India, okay.
A-N-U-V-I-A.
And is your email JB Scott?
Yeah. Prevention and talking and trying to write at the
I
same
know, I
time.
know. And do you
But I'm
still,
retiring. I
you
just
still live here,
retired.
and do you still live here in Grier Heights?
No, I worked the whole time in Grier Heights. And then I also attend church here in Grier Heights.
Is that Painter Place?
Yeah, Painter.
And what's the zip?
28212.
28212. So you grew up here, and
Yeah.
we heard all about the Big Boy Hole, which was
Yeah.
quite interesting. Did you swim in the Big Boy Hole?
Yeah, I don't know if I swim as much as I actually got in the water and got my feet wet. I enjoyed getting my tadpoles from the Big Boy Hole.
And tell me what you about tadpoles.
Well, each year when the frogs would come to that season, we would get old screens from doors that had been where people been using screens, and we would get a screen and we would put a screen in the water, and as they came over the screen, we left the screen up, and then we would go home and 6 or 7 tadpoles, so then we could keep them as long as they would keep legs. They would grow legs on the back, and then we see legs on the front.
Oh, tadpoles.
Oh, God, this is my southern accent.
Well,
What did I say?
No, he said tadpoles.
I
heard tadpoles.
My hearing's going down. I'm going to have to face the aging.
But it was tadpoles that I
Yeah,
got from
tadpoles.
there.
I thought you said tadpoles.
No, tadpoles.
Tadpoles.
The things, come from frogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I wonder if they still have them out there.
I'm not sure. I mean, it would have a lot to do with the water, but also in that was big old chunks of clay where you could come and make the ashtrays and make certain things at home. We had the same kind of clay almost they would have at school when we had projects. So those two other things that I enjoyed from that water.
That's amazing. That's the first time I've heard that about the clay.
Oh yeah, you could see it on the wall. You could see just certain sections, and it would just be gray, and it's where the water would come through, and we could go in and dig it out, and dig out and get there. I got in the water. I took my clothes off. I got in the water. I don't remember like swimming, diving, and all that, but it was an opportunity for me to leave the hot and get a cool. This is, I graduated 74 from high school, and up to that particular point, there still was not anything in this community. There still is not, where there's a swimming pool or anything that children can do. So majority of these children for years had been not learning to swim. So For the last 3 years, I'm on the board at Crossroads. You familiar with all that, right? The Crossroads comes over there and partners with my church and takes buses of kids out of this community to go swimming. So the substitute for the big ball now is actually some children in the community, about 35 kids, and some get the opportunity to leave and go to an actual aquatic center or swimming area now. That's a partnership with Crossroads, my park, and my church.
And what church? You say
I'm a member of Antioch Baptist Church, and we use the bus there at Antioch to do that.
So, this place where the clay was, if we were to go over behind the Mint Museum and start looking at the creek,
I wouldn't see no reason why it would still be there.
when you said the wall, what do you mean like just the bank
Well,
of the creek?
certainly you're looking at, had it rained, had it not rained. Certainly, the wall is built high. So when you look down into the creek, to get down in the creek, you gotta go down a hill to get to the wall.
That's what they were talking
Yeah.
about by running, jumping
They're
in.
right down
Okay.
the hill.
Yes, but if it rained real hard, it has the ability to take all the overflow. So the other places don't flood, the water reaches up high on the wall, is what I'm saying. So when that water goes through, you can look at certain places and you're seeing brick, you're seeing rock, you're seeing different colored mud, and then you're gonna see just gray. Spots where it's just gray. And that's where the earth has formed this clay. I guess clay is natural in it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's natural and it's just clay. That's what I remember so much. We'd come home and make little ashtrays and make little animals, and that was just something that we could do that I really enjoyed doing.
Well, now, what side, now, if you're at the Mint Museum,
Yeah.
which side of the creek was the hill that people would run down? Was it the Mint side or the other side?
It would be this side.
Not the Mint Museum side, but.
Yeah, it would usually be this side, closer to this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the other side of that was not a Mint Museum there, as you know. What was there was a hitting range, a golf practice range.
So the Mint, when did the Mint move out there?
The Mint has been there probably about 15 years.
Oh, no, it's been there much longer.
You think so? Oh, yeah, it's been
Because
there.
they tore down the old, it was,
Yeah.
they tore down.
But it seems like it was-
Post office.
And maybe both of these things existed at the same time.
But the Mint was much smaller, they did that big.
Yeah, all that pocket that's in the front right there,
Yeah.
all that was a driving range for golf. And guys in this neighborhood, that would be we would run over there and that would be one of the jobs we could do, was chase the balls down, and then we go back to the creek. The creek was loaded full of golf balls. So another thing, I mean, that's money, you know. So one of the things that the creek also had in the bottom of it or throughout the creek was golf balls that had went astray because the golf range was right there. And the guys would go in and get golf balls and work.
Did you ever fish out of the creek? Like
I
for
don't know
actual
if there were fish in there.
catching fish and cooking it? And
I never did.
You never did? Okay.
I never did. I don't know if it was, what's the word I want to say, had a natural habitat for that at that time during my years. I think it might have been prior to me.
Yeah, I think you're younger than the guys.
I'm younger than the guys that just came in before y'all.
Yeah.
And by the time I was there, it wasn't as popular. We had a few options with swimming in, so we could get on the bus and go other places. But it still was nothing in this community. So we went down there and we took our, our shirts and shoes, stuff off, and got in.
Now, they were talking about, they said that, the rich white kids from East Over Marsh Park would go down there too and swim. I just wonder if you ever experienced
Never
that.
seen that. Would have been shocked and amazed, but I've never seen that part.
I think we were growing up in the 60s.
I grew up in the 60s and early
Things were
70s.
civil rights.
Yeah, I was one of the first groups that was bused.
Mm.
So did your Did your parents think it was okay for you to go down to the creek, or did you do that sort of secretly?
My mom would read this today and say, "You went to that creek." Because my mom never knew. But my mom worked during the day. This was during the summer. Well, it's some after school too, but I don't remember ever having that conversation with her. You know, I think that there was something that we did that was mischievous.
So did you swim without your clothes on, or did y'all have bathing suits by then?
Oh, no. We went to underwear. We went to our underwear. And sometimes we would leave the underwear, put our pants on. But yeah, we always got it in our underwear. I mean, I don't remember having swimming trunks because there was no place to really go swimming.
Do you remember any bad flooding?
Well, not when nobody was dangerous. I remember seeing this wall go back and forth. What I mean by that is there were times when it's high and low, and it's the same way today. Then we get a lot of rain, sewage water and everything. It gets higher.
Did it ever smell? Do you ever remember it smelling?
It always had a certain smell to it.
Yeah.
And it was I don't know what's the word I want to say. It wasn't so strong, it was unbearable, but it was like a gassy smell. That was like, not quite sewer, but it always had a smell to it. And I always felt uncomfortable about getting it in my face. I was like, ugh. Now, to the guys told me, I think it was more natural then. But by the time the 60s and 70s came, I didn't want it in my face because it had a certain smell to it. Yeah.
So if we went over there now, how far away from the Randolph Road Bridge is this?
When you turn into the Mint Museum parking lot from the Randolph, if you turn as far as you can toward the creek, it has another little section that just has changed recently, where you can come over there and kind of park. It's way away from Mint Museum. Almost like the sightseers. There's a greenway there where people bring their dogs, and they let the dogs run. So you can go and walk there as far enough to go and look over into the creek, unless something has changed.
So it's right close to Randolph Road.
Oh yeah.
But on the Mint Museum side.
I think that because they have built up apartments and different things, I don't know how you would get there from this side.
Yeah.
Now, because they built up all those doctors' offices and everything. I think the access will still be from the Mint Museum side.
Yeah. That could be fun to go check it out.
We should go do that.
We should go do that.
We should do that.
Yeah, you should be able to look down in there and see
Yeah.
down in there.
And the clay side is on the doctor's office's side.
Yeah, that's where I've got my clay.
So you don't ever hear about any kids going down there now to swim, do you?
No.
I just feel like all the pools around here you had to pay money to get into now, and it seems like they would try to use a creek to swim in.
We just, at the first beginning of this year, we just lost a high school student who went out and did, not that creek, but some lake
I
around here.
remember that. Well,
That just happened.
there was a kid last spring who drowned trying to save his sister.
That wasn't the same one.
It was over on Irwin Creek. It was a
Yeah.
heavy rain, and they were down. They weren't even in the water. They were kind of looking at it.
And she
slipped and fell in.
stepped up and he jumped in and she got out and he died. But this was a young man who would look guys who were swimming in this community, and he was a Myers Park student, and he died.
But that was in a lake.
Some body of water that's real close to you, and I guess that's where they were going. I mean, that would be my answer. But
He was from
yeah,
this
yeah.
community? He was from Grier Heights?
Yes,
Oh.
he's from Grier Heights.
I just can't imagine not swimming in the summer. I grew up on a lake, and so I learned how to swim when I was very, very young.
Oh.
So it always amazes me when I come up here and I'm like, you have to pay to swim in a pool.
You hate that he had to die, but he died, and where the Myers Park swimming program had been cut off, wasn't going to do it this year. They brought it back because of that.
Myers Park Bicycle?
Really?
No. It's Myers Park. I'm sorry. Myers Park. He was a Myers Park student, but Myers Park Presbyterian Church
Yes. Okay.
and Crossroads. That's what I mean. I'm mixing them up, but they had said no, we're not going to do it this year, and then they decided to do it
To go ahead and
they
do
lost
it.
that young man. again, they have made a tremendous difference in the community because a lot of kids can swim now. Normally would never got the opportunity.
I remember Michael Jordan couldn't swim when he was at Chapel Hill. They used to have a swim test. You couldn't graduate if you passed the swim test.
Oh.
He didn't know how to swim, and so they got rid of the swim test.
Oh, wow.
Michael
So
Jordan.
he was able to graduate.
I went
That's
to
funny.
the Air Force.
So did you ever learn how to really swim then?
And I went to the Air Force. And I had to learn how to swim.
Okay.
But their swimming was more like let me survive kind of thing. I went down in the water. I came. I made it to the end of that wall, and they checked my name. But as far as being able to get into a pool and go stroking or get into the lake or get into something, I still struggle with it today. That's just not. I tell my kids who can swim. My nephews, my stepson, y'all scare me to death when I'm getting that deep water because I can't rescue. So that's one of the things I still struggle with. And I think my whole generation is kind of like getting in the water. So we don't understand the shark thing. We don't get that.
What year were you born?
I was born in 1956. And like I said, I never really got into the swimming thing. Went to the beach like everybody had, rode the waves, but to be diving like I see people do, going from one end to the other, like my son. My son was a lifeguard at Carowinds. Just the difference, he can swim. He likes swimming, and I told him, I said, man, when we first started, please, son, I can't save you.
So where did you end up going to grade school and high school?
I went here all the way through 6th grade. Then I went to Randolph, and then I went to East Met. I graduated from East Met. Then I went to the mountains to a little place called Leeds McRae Junior College. I got a basketball scholarship. That's how I got out of the hood. I got a basketball scholarship, and then from there to Livingstone College.
I don't think of Leeds McRae as being a very diverse place.
It was. I was the diversity. I got stories I tell you. I had to do my practice study, where you have to go outside and work in the community. And I work with children who had never seen anybody blind in their life. So
it's up in the mountains.
It's up with,
It's
yes.
like Banner Elm.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I went to the classroom, and the kids came up to me and they were rubbing me to see if it would come off. And then the teacher was complex, and she wanted to explain to them. And she said, well, kids, let me explain to y'all. Don't you know when we go to the cafeteria, you got white milk and you got chocolate milk? And the kids said, oh, I like chocolate milk. So that was just really, I'll never forget that the rest of my life. And they got to know me and doing my hair and everything. So 10, 15 years later, I get a chance to go to Korea. And they sent me to way out in the boondocks in Korea. And I got pictures of the Koreans seeing the first black person. And Koreans don't have a sense of, they don't have a sense of how close you can get to a person's body. They don't have this whole sense of, well, we know how close you can get. They come and they touch you.
They don't have the personal space.
They don't have personal space. That's exactly right.
I just popped out my contact lens by mistake, so you just keep talking and I'm just.
They don't have the personal space thing. So they would come up to me, rubbing on me. They was rubbing my hair. It was really, in addition to being African American, I was a giant because of my size. So these were short people.
Yeah.
So I got pictures of that. And I got
That's
pictures of
amazing.
that. Where it was like a parade when I walked down the street. And the kids, they wouldn't be bashful and shut the door and go run in. They would run out to me and look up at me and touch on me and grab me. And they would be speaking in broken English sometime or just Korean. And it was really, 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 interesting. But I went through it for a second time doing that. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'll be out just a minute
Yeah.
now. Yeah, that was interesting. The second time around to meet people who had never seen me. I got people there measuring my hand.
Did you feel like you were sort of performing a useful cultural education, or did you just feel like they were treating you like a weird guy?
Well, I felt like I was doing an education because the predecessors that had come there before told them we had tails.
Oh my goodness.
And they expected us to have tails.
Oh, that's awful.
So they
And wait, is
You
this
mean
in
like
the
the white
70s?
soldiers had done that?
Is this in the 70s?
this is in the 70s.
The
Yeah.
white soldiers did that?
Yeah, they thought we had tails like monkeys. And so it was what you just said, the opportunity for them to get to meet us and know us. And, you know, that it would be a
And
situation.
realize you're a human being.
Yeah, but I mean, the propaganda had come before us. Some
Yeah.
kind of way they got it that way, you know.
Wow.
And then it was just good for them to say, oh.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so that was good. It was good
So
stuff.
you
It
did
was good
your
stuff.
part for cultural.
Yeah, I've always, that's interesting to me though, because I like different cultures and everything.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Good luck on your project.